We've seen how we can reuse a report inside of Teams, for example. But did you know that you can also reuse a report inside of PowerPoint? So we'll give that a second to load. So this is a feature that's actually very new. It really has only reached general availability in the last month or so, where I can do data storytelling inside of my PowerPoint presentation. So what I have here is the same report that we were using before. I copied the link, I used the Power BI add-in to PowerPoint, which is now officially available from Microsoft. It's fully supported. And I'm able to not only see this report, but I'm able to interact with it. If I didn't have my mouse on the wrong screen, I can actually change values here. This is a live report. This is not a screenshot. And this is all within my PowerPoint deck. It actually gets one step better. Not only can you embed a PowerPoint report as your entire slide, you can embed visuals as parts of your slide. So I can have a slide here like my revenue forecast, and then this revenue by date projection, this is live. If I want to hover over something here and get a tooltip, I can do that. This is transformative. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people spend valuable time building and rebuilding the same PowerPoint deck every week, because we have our weekly meeting, and so of course we need to copy and paste in the newest slides with the newest graphics and the newest charts and visuals. This is just, I think this is one of my absolute favorite Power BI features ever.
And a lot of people, a lot of organizations go through that month-end cycle where you prepare a deck for executives, and the team of analysts spends a lot of time just massaging data, and all of that can be done in a data model so that you just refresh the PowerPoint deck and you can really analyze and draw conclusions rather than spending your time preparing data.
Yeah, let's take that one step further. So let's jump over to an additional demo around data sets. And I'm going to bring back up the live demo environment here. All right, so we're in this hospital visits workspace. And this is where we had actually published that app from. So this is where all the magic happened behind the scenes. And you'll see that we have a couple of assets here. We have, if I can get my cursor to highlight here correctly, we have the data set for medical visits. We have the report that came with it, and you can see I recently published those. We were able to certify this medical visits data set. And then we have an additional report that we created, this ranking report. And what I can do here is I can create a dashboard as part of this hospital visits app. So let's say that there's a particular visual on the regular report that's valuable to me that I want people to always see. Let's say it's this revenue by date forecast. Let's say we pin that to a new dashboard and say, let's call this dashboard key statistics. So that dashboard is being created inside of our workspace. And now I'm going to go back to the workspace, and let's also go to this ranking report that I had created, which uses the same underlying data set. This table is not particularly pretty. Let's not worry about that too much though for right now. Let's just pin this visual to the dashboard as well. And now if I go back to the workspace, you'll see I have this new key statistics dashboard. And so I'm going to open up that dashboard, and you'll see these pinned visuals from multiple different reports that can even be from multiple different underlying data sets. And there's actually Q&A built into dashboards as a first-class feature. You don't even have to add a Q&A visual. So here, if I wanted to, again, ask about top departments or answer new questions, that's absolutely built in. So let's go back to hospital visits, and we can publish this app. We can just update it. I'm going to go to the content for this application, and I'm going to add content, and I'm just going to make sure we have that key statistics dashboard added as well. I don't want to add the ranking report to this particular dashboard because it's really just not quite ready for general consumption, but I do want to add that key statistics dashboard, and then I'm going to drag that to the top of the list so that people see the dashboard first, and then I'm going to update the app. So now this will take a moment to be effective. But if I go to the app now, I will see not just the report, but if this is already updated by now, yeah, I was too quick for it. We will see that dashboard has been added to the app as well. Usually in a demo environment, this is pretty quick. So we'll come back to that. So that was the first thing I wanted to share, is this ability to use and create dashboards. The second thing I want to share is the ability to analyze the data, and this gets back to that month-end scenario. Every organization uses a couple of critical tools. We've already seen Teams and how you can integrate a Power BI reusable data assets into Teams, and how that's really an ideal environment for self-service. We've also seen how you can embed those reports into PowerPoint and save people countless hours in creating and updating and maintaining presentations. I'm just going to assume that this isn't going to update right now. But there's one additional feature, one additional tool, I should say, that every organization has relied on since before the dawn of the internet to do data crunching, and that is, of course, Excel. So I'm going to take this same demo report here, and I'm going to say analyze in Excel. And that is going to create an Excel file. I've actually done this earlier just to save ourselves a few seconds. And this Excel file comes with everyone's favorite tool, Power Pivot, or pivot tables, already connected to your datasets schema. So you'll see the KPI table that I had in my dataset. You'll see the age group table, the department table. All of these are available for me to drag and drop and create pivot tables, pivot charts, and all of the other analytics experiences that you're used to in Excel. The difference is, in this experience, when I click to refresh my data, it will actually refresh it directly from Power BI, and it will actually be a live connection. So that's Excel analytics using pivot tables. There's actually one other feature that can benefit not just your new Excel files that you might create using these reusable data assets, but even your, what I'll call your legacy Excel files. You can enrich files that already have tables of data with data from Power BI. And this is probably the least demoed Power BI feature of all time. It's been in the product for years, and I almost never see people using it. So I'm going to zoom in here just so everyone can see what I'm doing. I've got some just completely simple text. This isn't even formatted as a table. I've just got text that is my departments that I may be interested in doing some capacity planning with. And what I want to do is figure out the total beds that each department has available. Now I know that that data is available in Power BI, and so I could find a report somewhere and try to, massage together the right query or the right visual and try to get it in exactly the format that I want here. Or I could just recognize that in our data set, we took the time to define departments as an organizational featured table, which allows departments to show up inside of Excel for people as a data type, as a first-class object that Excel understands natively. So I can click on department here, and it will actually interpret these department names, connect them to the data set. You'll notice the little briefcase icon now. So these are actually live connected fields, and I can see the data that Power BI has in my feature table about this department. Not only that, I can actually add that data directly next to it. So I can say beds available, and it will be added here. And you can see the query here is a2.beds available. And I can even just drag that down and get the statistics for the other departments. So this is taking a data asset that we've created inside of Power BI, and I maybe never envisioned that how somebody else might end up using it. But by taking the time to format the data properly, build that semantic model, I'm able to empower people to do things that I never even dreamed of.
Which goes to show that once you begin thinking along these features as assets, there are certain additional non-technical activities that will help you along the way. Training is one of them. So if you properly train your audience to do these things, the value is there for them to just use these tools on their own without having to send every new report request to a centralized BI team.
So let's wrap this up with one last brief look at what that centralized BI team can do, because these features don't only benefit the self-service end user. So we'll talk again about this in upcoming webinars, but if we look at how this medical visits data set was created in the first place, let's go back to the workspace where that was created. It's this hospital visits workspace. We've already taken a look at lineage before. Let's do that one more time. I'm going to change this view to the lineage view so we can see how we put all of this magic together. So in this lineage view, we can see our dashboard over on the far right. And you can see that that key statistics dashboard is pulling from the two reports that we have, the medical visits and rankings reports, which both pull from our certified and reusable medical visits data set. But that data set is using data flows. So we've got a calendar data flow here. We've got a reference data flow, which is where we pull departments and doctor names and things like that. And then we've got the source data for the actual visits and encounters and revenue and so on that we were modeling. Now, in a real environment, you would have behind this, instead of Excel, you would have SQL or Oracle or Azure Data Lake connections and all kinds of other things. But you can see that these data flows can be combined in new ways. So for example, if my BI team creates data flows that surface various key fact and dimension tables from our underlying data environment, and I can recombine those in new ways to create new data sets. So if there was, for example, a 10-year data set from HR, a data flow that was available, I could combine that with my doctors and departments to figure out headcount over time. And now I've suddenly created a new data set, a new report, where that wasn't available before.